Hello, Red Wave. Welcome to Blair Bulldogs podcast. My name is Caleb Nail, alongside the one, the only, Caleb Pletz. Caleb, how you doing, man? Staying dry? It's raining.
Trying to, yeah, doing well. We're getting the CNC baseball factory fired up here. So yeah, I mean, believe it or not, baseball season already. College baseball starts early, so yeah, second series. Well, first series, second weekend of gameplay for Fresno State Bulldogs, and so we have some hope for our men's athletics here with basketball struggling.
Yes, yes. Uh, you can find us on Twitter. Before we get into it, you can find us on Twitter at Beware CSUF, on Instagram at Beware Bulldogs Podcast, and on YouTube. This will most likely go on YouTube if it goes well. So we just want to warn you guys about this. This is our first time ever talking baseball. Caleb and I both have baseball experience. However, it was limited experience on the baseball field. And we're going to see how this goes. Here's our goal. Every 3 to 4 game series, we're going to talk about, and we're going to try and get at least one baseball episode out a week. So last week we had Coach Buckley on, assistant coach / pitching coach. Go check that one out. And today we're talking about the series against Nebraska-Omaha. Caleb, did I miss anything? Do you want to warn them about anything else?
No, yeah. I mean, I think hopefully we can bring some interesting commentary here, and I mean, definitely let us know what you want to hear from us too. I mean, if if there's anything baseball related you want us to focus on, we'll certainly do our best. Or anyone you want us to talk to, we'll do our best to try to find them.
Mm-hmm. So it takes us a little while to get going. Uh, the reasons is because we're probably loading up the box score, looking through things, looking up abbreviations. So for all you baseball guys, you're gonna have to help us out. Send us messages. Still trying to figure out what NP means. So you can message us. I figured out everything else except for NP. I don't know what that is. All right. Let's get into the series with Nebraska-Omaha. So the Dogs played a 4-game series at home, won the first 3, ended up losing a tight one in game 4. We'll get there. This big headline, I guess you could say, is Bulldogs pitching. Is that right, Caleb?
Oh yeah, I mean, coming away really impressed with the arms for this team, and I mean total runs given up. I mean they gave up 1 run, 2 run, 4 run, 1 run. I mean, so overall pitching really strong, and this Omaha team coming in, it's kind of interesting. These Midwest teams where it's snowing and they kind of have to start off most of their season on the road. I mean they had a tough start. They opened up at UCLA and got whomped 3 games there by the Bruins, and then coming up here to Fresno, and the Dogs put a whooping on them in game 3, putting up 13 runs. So yeah, definitely tough to start your season, constantly on the road, but that's life when it snows where you live. So hard to play baseball outside in the
Yeah.
snow. So, but yeah, overall, definitely pitching seems to be the strength for this team.
Mm-hmm. What we're going to be doing this year, we will commit to this, is listening a lot to Paul Leffler. Just going to let you guys know that beforehand. Back to game 1, final score 2-1. Eshawn Henderson, he's our ace. He's our number 1. He started the game. Also, Nebraska-Omaha, their starter, their ace was a preseason All-American. So very good pitching duel in that first game. I'm looking at the RBIs. We had Grady Morgan had both RBIs in this 2-1 victory. It was a quick game. I mean, Eshawn and I don't know the other pitcher's name, but they were dealing. Oh my gosh, Caleb Rydell. What?
Hmm.
No wonder he's a preseason All-American. He's got a good first name, man.
That's right. That's right.
So Eshawn went 7, and there was 5 scoreless. Caleb went 6. And then Grady Morgan had both RBIs, one in the 6th, one in the 8th, and then in the 9th, Omaha scored one, and we ended it right there. So and it was a quick game, like 2 hours, not even 2 hours.
Yeah, 2-hour game, which schedule-wise I think was good because it ended up being a doubleheader. They were a little proactive and moved the
Right.
Friday game to Thursday with the weather that was going on there. So yeah, definitely good when your ace can go deep in the game. And then Angelo came in and did give up a run late, but overall was able to lock it down. And yeah, great, got enough offense from Grady Morgan. So yeah, he's I think going to be a key for this offense playing right field. But yeah,
Yeah, Roman Angelo. He got the save. He
yep,
gave up a run, but he got the save. Game 2, we won that game 3-2. So another one-run game. Uh, what's the storyline for this game, Caleb? Pitching again?
yeah. I mean, a little bit more of the same. Another great performance from the whole pitching staff together, and just being able to
Right.
put it together while my box score loads here.
So Trevor Garcia
Okay,
got the start.
yeah.
He went four he went 4 innings, and then we had four other guys uh, pitch. Zach Statzer got the win, and then this will make you guys laugh, but Tommy Hopfee got the save, and Hopfee in Game 3 lit up the box score at the plate. I believe he's a first baseman.
Yeah, I
Is that
believe so.
right?
First base and DHs a little bit, and yeah, that's
And
kind of
pitches.
cool. And yeah, and pitches too. And the Dogs have a couple of those guys. I think Mitchell in the outfield also I think is going to come in on the mound and has pitched in the past too. So I think that's kind of a fun part of college baseball. Still is kind of builds on youth baseball too. Is a lot of guys got to be able to do different things and hit and throw and
Mhm.
yeah, so it's good to have that kind of versatility on the field.
Yeah, so Hoppy got the save, and he also had the first RBI of the game. He That was in the third. We scored two in the third. We held Omaha scoreless through the first four, and then they came back and tied it up in the sixth, in the fifth, and then the sixth, and then in the bottom of the sixth, uh, Davis, Tyler Davis came in and he had a sack fly, and we end up winning that game 3-2. So good team win. Another close pitching battle. Anything else on game 2, Caleb? Or should we move on to game 3?
Yeah, good to see the bullpen kind of come in and keep things together. I think what Coach Buckley told us in the interview from last week, the goal for the reliever is just to come in and have the score not change at all. And so,
Right.
relief did enough to, get the W.
Mm-hmm. Game 3, starter was Jake Dixon, and Jake went 5 innings, gave up 8 hits, 3 earned, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Uh,
Moves to 2-0
this
on the season.
Yeah, moves. He got the win. Moves to 2-0 on the season, and this game, the main headline was it. In the batter's box, we had 2 grand slams and a 9-run bottom of the third. So I mentioned Hopfee. Hopfee had one of them, and then who had the other one?
Nico Mitchell had the
Mitchell.
first grand slam in the second inning.
That's right, and he's also a pitcher,
Yeah,
and he plays outfield.
and really good defensively too. I know, listening to Paul Leffler on the radio, which he is. Bulldog fans need to be so thankful that we have Paul Leffler. Just like listening to like really rough broadcasts throughout my life, like you really need to appreciate how good our broadcaster is, and just him like really painting the picture of how quick Mitchell's moving in the outfield and making really strong defensive plays. So yeah, Mitchell really had a strong game there at the plate and playing defense too.
Right. And I remember speaking with Paul, since you brought up Paul, I mean, I got to bring this up. He started out as the baseball announcer. I think this is his 23rd season
Mhm.
as baseball play-by-play. And originally he was just going to do baseball and do other things, but then he got roped into doing football and basketball, and now he's doing everything. I mean, the dude's a stud. I don't know
He
how he does
is.
it all, but yeah. So we appreciate you, Paul. Thank you. All right, back to game 3. So the final score was 13-4. We had 13 hits, 13 runs. That's nice to see. Uh, and then we did have 4 pitchers. So Jake Dixon, like I mentioned, went 5, got the win, and 3 other guys finished it out. And for the most part, the score stayed the same. Will Springer gave up 1 run, but Jacob Acosta and Aiden Cremarosa also pitched. So good pitching once again. Like you said, Caleb, a total of 8 runs in out of 4 games we gave up, and in one game we scored 13. Granted, we didn't win all the games, but hey,
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of an interesting scoring game. I mean, all the runs happened in the second and third inning. After that, Omaha brought in a relief pitcher who went the rest of the way and shut the Dogs down. 5 scoreless innings, one gave up 2 hits, and just really locked it down. So I mean, thankfully there was a comfortable lead, and our bullpen did what it needed to do to secure the victory. But that is a little bit concerning, especially in a game like that. I guess you can see the team maybe being comfortable with a 8-9 run lead, and not necessarily need to keep turn on the Jets. But obviously these guys are competing and trying to do what they can to get on base and score. But yeah, credits to Omaha and their reliever for coming in and shutting the Dogs down and at least getting them out of there.
yeah, it's yeah. I still am bummed that I missed 2 grand slams
Yeah.
in one game. That's pretty wild. Ben Newton, Grady Morgan, and Tyler Davis also had double in the game. All right, game 4. We end up losing this game 1-0. Omaha hit a bomb, and that was the only run scored. Roman Angelo was the starter, so he got the save in game 1. He started game 4, and he went 5 innings, and that's when they hit their bomb. And then when it came to Omaha, we only had sorry, let me back up. When it came to Fresno State, we only had 3 hits. We were walked 4 times, but we had 3 hits and 8 strikeouts. We didn't produce a single run. So once again, great pitching, and it was a team effort. So Roman Angelo technically got the loss, but I mean the win-loss stat in baseball is everyone knows it's not the greatest stat. He went 5 innings. Then Jack Anchor, Robbie Peters, and Victor Areola came in and did their job, but we couldn't score any runs.
Yeah, this game was frustrating. I actually watched the whole game because it was simulcast on Mountain West Network and locally on the CW 59. So I did get to watch it. The viewing experience was not great. There was probably at least a couple pitches per at bat where you didn't actually get to see the ball cross the plate. You were just kind of locked in on the pitcher the whole time, and
Oh
you're still
no.
relying on Leffler's commentary, which is great. I mean, definitely necessary for that. So obviously it's still early in the Mountain West Network season. They still kind of get those producers tightened up with make sure you can actually see the ball and play. But yeah, I mean, it was a frustrating game. I'll talk a little bit more about this one because I actually watched the whole thing. And I mean,
Yeah,
the Omaha
please.
pitcher did not have it up front. I mean, and Leffler was saying, I mean, the guy was only throwing like 82 miles an hour on his fastball. So I mean, he was throwing
Huh.
batting practice, and I mean, our guys were just flying out. And I think we stranded a runner early on third, and just weren't able to get anything done. And I mean, he was working hard, didn't have good stuff, and we just weren't able to capitalize. So that was frustrating. And yeah, I mean, in terms of Fresno State, I mean, not much more you can ask for from Angelo. I mean, only giving up 1 run on the solo shot, And I mean, Anchor was really good coming out of the pen. 2 scoreless innings, and Arriola too, another 2 innings
Mhm.
to close it out. So, I mean, overall, really happy with how the pitchers were going. I mean, doing what they needed to do, but just offense couldn't get it done. And which is, I think, not usually what you get on, the Sunday matchup. Usually, pitching's not,
Right.
as great, and maybe higher scores, but yeah, not this matchup with a 1-0 loss for the Dogs.
Yeah, we had 14 flyouts.
Yeah.
That's that's pretty good. Now we did have a triple. So Tommy Hopke hit a triple.
Hmm.
He got stranded. But I mean, so there's opportunities. We're there's opportunities out there. We're putting our guys in position to score. And we haven't gotten third base, got to get them in. But
Hmm.
it just didn't happen that game. But for the most part, good overall showing. 3-1. I'll take that. In our home opening series, that's what I want. Um, our next matchup is Wednesday, March 1st. It's at home, Peabody Field at Bob Bennett Stadium, and we play San Fran.
Yep.
And if you can't make it, well, the game's at 6:05. First pitch is at 6:05. If you can't make it, it's on the Mountain West Network. But we just heard, Caleb, what you said about it, so we'll see.
Yeah, and then immediately after that, I mean, the Dogs are jumping into conference play. I mean, we're this weekend, Friday, starting a 3-game series at San Jose State, which is
Right.
crazy. I mean, Coach Buckley was sharing some some discomfort about having to start conference play so early. I mean, at this point,
That's
they're
right.
they're still trying to figure out the team and figure out the lineup, and that's usually what they use the non-conference for and get things tuned up. But I mean, Dogs need to have their A game, because these conference games are important. So we'll see what the Dogs have, and kind of interesting this weekend too. I mean, San Jose State's stadium is under construction, so all the games will be at 1 o'clock. So that, and the stadium that they're playing at doesn't have lights, so uh,
Oh
all
gosh.
all the games will be early during the day. So yeah, Friday during your work day, tune in to Mountain West Network. It will be on TV according to GoBulldogs.com. So yeah, we're really interesting what the Dogs have coming up. And um, I mean, I would expect these games to be competitive. I mean, from what we've
Mhm.
seen with the pitchers so far, I mean, we're going to throw our 3 studs out there and just let them go at it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'm not worried about the lights. I mean, our pitchers are dealing. So
Right.
unless we end up hitting 2 grand slams again and a 9-run inning, but I think we'll be fine. Leave it to San Jose State to not have lights, of course.
Right.
But this week is chocked full of Fresno State sports, of men's sports, not to mention everything else going on. But tomorrow, or Tuesday, I should say, which is today, you're listening, we play New Mexico, the last conference game for basketball. And then Wednesday, we got San Francisco. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're playing baseball in San Jose. And on Saturday, we have our last men's basketball game at home against Chicago State. So there's a lot going on.
Right. How silly that on the same day baseball's playing conference game, basketball's playing non-conference. That makes no sense.
That's
No
true.
sense.
uh, well, okay, Caleb, while I have you here, I want to talk a little bit about conference realignment. You good with
Okay.
that?
Yeah, let's do
Okay,
it.
it's been a hot topic around the red wave, so we're going to talk about it. But uh, reminder, guys, tell us what you think about the baseball content. Do we need to do more of it? Uh, like what do you guys want to hear about baseball? Let us know. Okay, conference realignment. The Bulldogs and Fresno State are at the center of the Big 12 right
Mhm.
now. That's what we hear. And from what we've been told, it doesn't look like it would happen unless the Pac 12 stays together. Do you believe that?
I think so, yes, because I do think that most of the members in the Pac-12 would be more desirable than Fresno State to the Big 12. So yeah, I think best case scenario for Fresno State would be Pac-12 stays intact, and maybe takes San Diego State or something like that, and the westward expansion for the Big 12 to continue. I think that Fresno State has a good opportunity there, so long as Pac-12 stays together. I think some of the some of the funniest stuff I saw in the last week or so was about the Pac-12 and their like TV negotiating, and
Oh
that it
yes.
was like alleged that Ion TV was involved with the negotiation, and then there was competing contrasting reports that no, they aren't involved. And I mean, Ion is like reruns of Law and Order and stuff. So
Well, we actually were the first to report the rumors with them in Food Network.
that's
So
right. That's right. With Guy Fieri calling the game.
yeah, and yeah, that would be interesting. I'd like to see them get it done. However, whenever I turn on to Food Network, I just get hungry. So
Yeah,
I,
definitely.
I don't know if I could watch it. So, but
But
anyways,
it would be easier to find on the Pac-12 network.
that anything.
Yeah,
uh, yeah, it's actually hard for me to believe that the Big 12 would rather grab either both Arizona schools in Colorado or whoever it is, Pac-12 schools, because because they want Pacific time zone. And now I'm not familiar with time zone stuff, but I know Arizona is really weird when it comes to time zone,
right.
and Colorado is not the same time zone as us. So if I were to guess, we would still be attractive to the Big 12 because we are in that time in the Pacific time zone, and that, from what I've heard, is what they're looking for. So unless they can pull, Oregon State, Washington State, teams like that, then I think we're still an attractive option for them. Now,
Totally.
when it comes to viewers and TVs and homes, I get it. Arizona State, Colorado, probably more attractive when it comes to TVs and homes. So my next question is to you: are you buying the advertising, the marketing that Fresno State has a lot of TVs and homes from Sacramento to Bakersfield, even farther down?
Yes and no. I mean, I know that we have, talking Fresno State and as Beware of Bulldogs, I mean, we do have fans all throughout the valley. So I think most of them are going to be in Fresno, Madera County. I mean,
Uh-huh.
maybe some Kern County, but I mean, Bakersfield has, their own university. Granted, they don't play football. So, if they're diehard football fans, then yeah, maybe they are rooting for Fresno State. And I guess up to Sacramento, they have Sac State, but they're FCS team. So I
San
don't know.
Jose is close.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, I think that, the 1 million population for our area, I think is accurate. So yeah, I mean, something I've been thinking about lately though is, kind of like the culture and just overall like comparison between Fresno State and say like Iowa State, who's in the Big 12, excuse me. I mean, you can't tell me that like our school is not, similar to Iowa State. I mean, look,
Right.
obviously agriculture is got to be the only thing that's going on in Iowa. I don't mean this as slanderous to anyone that lives in Iowa,
We're
but
already creating
um,
rivals.
and I mean, if you think about it, I mean, what sport is, Iowa State definitely gonna beat Fresno State in? I mean, they've had good basketball teams, so I'll give them that, but Fresno State has had good basketball teams too. I think football, we could definitely beat Iowa State. Like I feel pretty confident in that. Over the last 20 years, I would take Fresno State over Iowa State pretty much every time. And I mean, baseball, I think our baseball program is definitely stronger. So I mean, and even just like, fit and culture. I mean, it's a, agricultural community and, hardworking people. So, I mean, I think Fresno State can fit in the Big 12. It's just a matter of whether that's how everyone else sees us.
Right. I would much rather, as much as I would appreciate being in the pack in the Pacific Athletic Conference because of, you know, geography, I agree with you. The Big 12 is a better fit culturally. So, well, I'll take the pros and the cons of the Big 12 over Pac 12 or Pac 8, whatever it's going to be, if it's even there. uh, yeah, I here's my thing with the whole expansion deal. Okay. And you guys hear me out and you may hate me after this, but I think we are butchering it right now and we are beating the dead horse. I think we should just sit back and let things play out. Here's the reason why. There has been meetings with the Big 12. President Jimenez has met with the Big 12. They have expressed interest. If it's going to if it's going to happen, if we're going to make it happen, it's going to happen because they've already started meeting. So from now, I believe it's just a waiting game. I mean, we as a fan base, we can do so much. We can only do so much on Twitter and Barkboard and all these different places to
Fresno
try
City
and
Council.
Fresno City Council, show up. Yeah, that's right. Um, we could do all those things, but at the end of the day, it comes down to one, money, and two, the negotiations that in behind closed doors that we have no idea what's being said and whose hands are shaking whose hands and things like that. So, I would be, the saying slow to anger. Let's be slow to reacting to what's going on and things are being said because it's going to happen. I do think in a couple years, Fresno State will not be in the Mountain West, God willing, but we're just going to have to see how things play out. And
Right.
I
And
don't know.
I am going to continue to enjoy our regional based rivalries because I think
Yes.
that's going to be the worst part of the conferences changing is, if we aren't able to play San Diego State and San Jose State and Boise every year, like that's going to take some getting used to because I mean those are the games that we get fired up for every year because
Right.
there's history
Right.
there. And so moving to the new conference, like obviously money wise it'll be better for the school if that happens, but yeah, we're gonna have to try to manufacture some sort of rivalry with the Iowa State Cyclones. I mean, we will certainly do our best to like start that up, but
We're start talking a lot of smack, man.
that's right. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be really really different if that does happen.
All right. Anything else that needs to be said? Any news? New York Jets came out and said, Derek Carr, you're a future Hall of Famer if you sign with us. Is that? And the Commanders just dropped Carson Wentz, so maybe he goes to the Commanders. You got
Right.
a prediction?
Um, I don't. I did see some like analytics on Twitter though about Derek's performance in cold weather games, and they are not good. So I think for his sake, hopefully he goes somewhere warm or domed, just for his own his own performance. I mean, hopefully those stats are just cherry picked or something, but it was like historical data. That was pretty funny. I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, I play worse in the cold, so
Maybe. Hopefully, he goes to Indianapolis then.
yeah. Or
So.
is New Orleans still an option for him?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot about
Okay.
that. That's probably a better option
Yeah.
and more likely.
Right.
So, all right. That's all I got for you guys. You know, thanks for listening. One, you can follow us on Twitter, Beware CSUF, and on Instagram, Beware Bulldogs Podcast. We have new hats. If you want one, let me know. Otherwise, it is in our link tree, which is in our link on Instagram. I know for sure. I'll make sure it's on Twitter, so you can find it. The new hats there. There's a gray one, and then there's this. My lighting is absolutely terrible. You can tell. So yeah, it says "Beware of Bulldogs" on it now. And if you want to see it, they're on YouTube. And the other one is gray and white with red lettering. So we appreciate your guys' support. And anything else, Caleb? We're good. Let's get out
I
of
don't
here.
think so. Yeah, let's get out of here. Check in. We got basketball recaps coming up for these last couple games, and then we're full steam on with baseball.
Let's do this thing. All right,
Yeah,
everybody, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. We'll see you at the baseball diamond. And as always, go Dogs.
go Dogs.